Hey everyone, today I'm going to be testing out brand new drugstore makeup. This is such a fun time of year, so many new releases, and I actually have more on the way. So you're going to be seeing another drugstore video coming up very soon. But for now, I wanted to just sit down and do a full face of all of these products. I have the new Revlon Illuminance SPF. I also have the Maybelline Lifter Stix Foundation, some L'Oreal plumping lip glosses. I have the L'Oreal cream highlighter, and also something that totally came out of left field, these new Almay lip and cheek balms. So we have a lot to go over today. I'm going to be trying everything on. I'm also going to be doing a wear test so we can see how these hold up throughout the day. So if that sounds good, grab a snack, get cozy, and let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, guys, so let's start out with primer. First, I have this new one from Revlon, and this is actually an SPF primer. So it's called the Illuminance Protect and Moisturize SPF 30 Primer. So according to the Amazon website where I bought this, it says that it primes your skin for makeup application, and it's supposed to enhance your makeup's wear. It also is supposed to visibly improve the skin's appearance of wrinkles in 4 weeks. It has squalane to lock in moisture. It's supposed to deeply hydrate. It also has vitamin E to fight free radicals, and SPF 30 sunscreen, which is a blend of both chemical and mineral. It's also supposed to be super lightweight and have no white cast. So of course, because it has those chemical filters in there, it's likely to not have a white cast. At least I hope that's the case, because it does have a little bit of zinc in there too. So this is what the actual color looks like. It's a little bit of like a pale pink shade. And when I go to blend it out, it actually does feel very thin. It's not a super thick, chalky type of feel. It almost feels a little bit oily. So I think what I'm going to do, because I'm testing a new foundation today, is I'm going to put this only on one half of my face, because I don't know how it's going to react with the new foundation. And then it's going to be really hard to tell what's because of the foundation, what's because of the sunscreen. So I'm just putting it on this half of my face, and on the other side, I'll put my regular bubble sunscreen that I use under everything. So just a couple quick notes about this. It does, like I said, it has that sort of oily feel to it. Not sure how oily skin is going to feel about that, but on my dry skin, it feels super hydrating. It does have that little bit of a sunscreen smell because of the chemical filters, although it's not particularly strong. And it really doesn't seem to have any white cast, at least on me, and it pretty much just disappears right into my skin. There's no residue feeling. It feels like skincare, basically. So this is a really nice option. I tend to not get along great with chemical sunscreens, so I'm hoping that this doesn't break me out. But if you're fine with those, then this feels really nice. Even though it's a primer, if I had to compare it to like the NYX one that's also a primer, that one has much more of a blurring effect. This one doesn't blur anything. It really just feels like a light moisturizer that you're putting on. So it doesn't have the pore smoothing benefits of the NYX one. And actually, I changed my mind. I'm gonna skip the bubble sunscreen today, and I'm gonna use the Beauty of Joseon one. This is the other sunscreen that I wear the most often, I would say. And the only reason I'm skipping the bubble is because that one has a little bit of a tint to it, and I don't want my face to be 2 different colors, especially because I'm testing a new foundation. So the Beauty of Joseon one is kind of similar to the Revlon in that it just goes on, it feels like a light lotion, and it sinks right into your skin, but there's no color to it. So I think this is probably better as like a direct comparison. Honestly, as I'm putting this one on, I feel like the Revlon feels just as lightweight. It's sunk in just as fast. So I'm happy about that. So yeah, I mean, as far as the Revlon one goes, I don't know. It's a sunscreen. I don't really have too much to say about it. It doesn't do really anything more than the Beauty of Joseon one does. And because they use the Korean filters in here, this is likely to not react with my skin as much as this one. They're using American filters. So I would probably still go for this one. It's a couple of dollars more. I want to say I paid $12 for the Revlon, and this one is around like $14, $16 depending on where you buy it. But you're actually getting more in this tube anyway. This is 1.69 fluid ounces. This one is 0.95. So it's not quite 1 ounce. You're getting about 50% more in here. So personally, if it were me, I would say just get this one. This one also has the skincare benefits in it. You can also get either one of these on Amazon. All right, so next for foundation, I got the new Maybelline Lifter Stix Foundation. So I paid $9.56 for this at Walmart. It's a very odd price, but hey, it's under $10 and I love that. So altogether, let me see how many shades this comes in. It comes in 18 shades altogether. It says that it has light diffusing pigments for a sculpted, lifted look and a natural finish. They say that you can use these all over your face as a foundation. You can also use it as a concealer. And then they're also marketing this as a contour or bronzer stick if you just buy it in a deeper shade than what you need. But truthfully, that's a marketing gimmick because you can do that with literally any foundation. So they're really just trying to get you to buy more of them. So I got it in the shade 10, and I'll show you what that looks like. I am happy that it seems to have more of a pink undertone. I think this color is going to work really well for me. It looks like it's going to blend right in. So I'm just going to go ahead and start putting this on. Yeah, look at that. That's like a really good match. I'm surprised. When it comes to stick foundations, I typically like to use my fingers to blend these in. I almost think they're meant for that because they're supposed to be something really quick and really easy to use. And also because they're that thicker, more cream formula, your fingers have a little bit of warmth to them, and I find that they really warm up the product and help it to blend into your skin a little bit better than a brush would. So this is just my preferred method when it comes to a stick foundation. But so far, I think it's actually really nice. It doesn't feel super dry on my dry skin. The coverage is probably close to medium, I would say. Maybe not quite there. It's not hiding all of the freckles on my cheeks, but it's absolutely toning down all the redness and just evening out my skin tone, which is great. And it seems to be applying nicely on top of the Revlon SPF. It's not pilling up. So I think so far so good. It doesn't look cakey anywhere. The finish is a very satin skin-like finish. It still has that tiny hint of glow that your skin would normally have, but it's not dewy and it's also not a flat matte. So here's a quick side by side of my face. I have it just over here, just so you can see the coverage level. I think it did a really nice job at evening everything out, and it's really the perfect color match. So I do like this so far. I think if you're someone who loves a full coverage look, it might not be quite enough for you, but I'm going to try to build it up in certain areas and see if it can be built up. Overall, it seems like one of those really easy to use products that honestly, you just can't mess it up. I'm just going to put a little extra coverage on my chin because this is extra red today for some reason. I don't know why. And I think I'll also put a little just in my eye area to hide some of that darkness. And then just to add a little bit extra, I'm just going to put some right here on my cheek and just build up the coverage slightly. I do think it's working. I think it layers upon itself really well. I don't think the second layer is giving that much more coverage though. It looks kind of the same as it did before. Maybe just slightly better coverage. So in my opinion, I think this is just supposed to look really natural. It's not supposed to be a full glam, full coverage kind of product. It's supposed to just look like your skin but better, but it does have a little bit more coverage than your average skin tint would. So I'm happy so far, but I'll definitely update you guys at the end of the day and we'll see how everything is wearing at that time. So let's move on to cheeks. I got some new blushes from Almay, and it's so funny because I just did a video last week, I think it was, talking about some brands that I just feel like are going to be going under soon because they haven't released things in a while and they just seem to be not innovating or doing anything. And Almay was one of them, but they just came out with new lip and cheek sticks and these looked so good. I had to try them. I got them over on Amazon as well, and they're called the Color and Care Tint Sticks. So one of them is a little bit more warm toned, one's more cool toned. And even though they actually come in different colors, it says that they're pH activated custom color on here, which is not my favorite, but we'll see how they wear. So I have the shades Nude Flush and what's this one? Coral Flush. So let me just show you a close up of the packaging. I like the packaging. It's really simple. They come in kind of like these chubbier sticks. And I like that this is a 2-in-1 product that you can use on lips and cheeks. I feel like those are really popular right now. And really, Almay makes one of my favorite blushes at the drugstore. Their powder blush is phenomenal. It's one of the best. So I know that they can make really good products. They just tend to not be the most exciting, but I am excited about these. So here are the colors. We have Coral Flush on the top and then Nude Flush on the bottom. They look really pretty, very like natural, wearable colors. And like I said, we have one that's a little bit more warm tone, one that's a little more cool. So I'm really curious to see what these look like on. And really, I'm not going anywhere today, so maybe I'll just do one on one cheek and one on the other and we'll see what happens. So I'm just gonna put Coral Flush over here and I'm gonna blend it with the BK Beauty 107 brush. It does feel a little bit more on the dewy side. Like there's a little bit of stickiness to it. So I do think it's going to feel really nice on your lips. Hopefully it doesn't stay sticky on my cheeks and it'll eventually dry down, because I hate when stuff feels sticky on my face. It's not my favorite thing. But I think this color looks really beautiful. So, all right, that's the Coral Flush shade. Then we'll do Nude Flush over here. Like I said, this one's a little bit warmer, but the colors aren't honestly that different from each other. So I don't think my makeup will look too off, hopefully. Yeah, actually, once they're on, I can't really tell too much difference. This one's a little bit warmer and a little bit peachier, but not by that much. I think they blend out really nicely. They don't seem to be bothering my foundation. I also want to see what these look like on the lips really quick, so I'm gonna try Pink Flush first. The tube is a little bit big to put on your lips, so you have to be careful with it. It actually feels really hydrating, not sticky, very smooth, like a tinted lip balm basically, and it has no fragrance whatsoever. Almay is known for being like hypoallergenic, and they don't put fragrance in their products at all. So this is Coral Flush. And then we'll try Nude Flush. This is the type of product that you could just keep in your bag, and if you need to touch up your cheeks and your lips like when you're on the go, it's super easy for that. I actually really like this color a lot too. So this is Nude Flush. So yeah, I think overall Nude Flush gives a little bit more color on lips and cheeks than Coral Flush does. That one's a little bit more subtle. But like I said, they're both really beautiful, really wearable colors. So I think this is a nice release from Almay. I wish they would release products a little bit more often. I don't want them to go crazy like ColourPop and be releasing something every week, but I think they could pull off like just a really simple, easy to wear makeup line. Stuff like this, I think, especially nowadays with the more like natural makeup looks that are so popular, I think their brand would really take off. So I don't know, hopefully they'll get better about maybe releasing some new products a little more often. But one of you guys told me, and I had forgotten this, that Almay is owned by Revlon. And we've seen Revlon kind of making a comeback and coming out with new and really interesting products. Like in my last video, I talked about these new blush drops that are identical to the Hourglass ones. So Revlon is really like stepping up their game. Maybe Almay will as well. All right, next I have a cream highlighter from L'Oreal. This is their Lumi Glow. And so many of you told me that I had to try this. This has actually been out for a little while, like at least a few weeks now. I got this on Amazon too, and they have a bunch of different colors. So the one that I ended up getting is Glowy Sparkling Rose, because they were sold out of some of them. And the feedback that I was getting from you guys is that this is the most natural looking, non-sparkly, just super smooth highlighter. And I am a big fan of cream highlighters because of that reason. They look really natural. So I just want to show you the color. Hopefully it comes across on camera. But just as I'm swatching it, this looks so smooth. It really looks beautiful. The texture and the finish reminds me of the Hourglass highlighters that they have or had. I don't know if those are still around, but they were in the triangle tube. That's what this looks like on the skin. Really, really pretty. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pop a little bit right on my cheekbone there and tap it with my fingers. I mean, this color and the finish is pretty much just disappearing into my skin. I can't really even notice it that much, but honestly, that's what I prefer. I don't like to see like a stripe of bold highlight. I just like my skin to look dewy and like it's glowing from within. And that is exactly what this does. It's like glass skin in a stick. I see no sparkle, no glitter. It just looks like I have dewy cheeks. That is so pretty. Thank you guys for the recommendation. I'm not a big highlighter person these days, but I have to admit that looks gorgeous. And I'd love to try it again when I'm wearing more of a matte foundation, because right now I felt like my skin and my cheeks already had a little bit of glow, especially because these blushes were more on the dewy side. So I'd like to try that again when I can really tell what's the highlighter and what's the blush, because I think my whole cheek area is just really glowy right now. So let's move on to eyes. I do have a new lip product that I want to try as well, but I ended up getting a bunch of colors of the ColourPop Super Shock Shadows. I know these aren't new, but they had an amazing deal during Black Friday. I think they were like $2 each. And I bought a bunch of shades, some of them that I've owned before and others that this is my first time trying them. So I figured I'd just swatch them quickly and then put one of them on for today's look, just like as a one and done. So the first shade shade I got is Twitter Pated, and this one is a beautiful pink with a golden shift. So it has more of a dual chrome finish to it. This is so gorgeous. It's an absolutely beautiful shade. I'm loving this one. Next up, we have the shade Low 70s, and this one is described as a warm rose gold. So this is super pretty as well. Then we have a little Quarky, which is described as a metallic bronze. This one is also really reflective with those little glitters, and it gives that wet look. This is so pretty. Next up is Sequin. This is described as a rosy copper. I don't think I'm going to wear this one today for sure, just because it's more warm tone than the rest of my look. But when I do want a warm look, I think this is beautiful. Next up is Aster, which is a peachy taupe. I definitely went for a lot of more neutral shades this time around, but those are just the ones that I wear the most often. So this looks really pretty too. And then last but not least, we have Set to Stun, which is described as an icy rose. This one is really pink. I don't know how this is going to look on me. I feel like sometimes pinks can make me look like I'm sick or I have a cold or something. So hopefully it doesn't look like that, but it looks pretty in a swatch. So decisions. I don't know what I'm gonna wear. I feel like I always wear neutrals. Maybe I'll try Set to Stun because I kind of have a good idea of what the other ones are gonna look like on me, but I don't wear colors like this very often. So let's try this out. If it looks terrible, maybe I can layer one of the lighter shades on top and kind of change the shade a little. So again, I just like to apply these with my finger. I find that they work the best that way. They have the most impact. This one is also very glittery, so I think it's going to make a nice impact. This is so beautiful, and one of the things I love about these the most is that they're creams. So even the glittery ones, I find that, you don't have to use glitter primer. They don't go all over the place. They just stick right to your lids. So it's just a very user-friendly formula overall. All right, so here's what Set to Stun looks like. It's okay. It's not my favorite. I think I might want to just add a little something to it. I feel like it's very, very rosy. All right, so I think I'm going to take the shade A Little Quarky, which was that beautiful taupey brown, and I'm just going to pop that right in the center just to kind of tone down the pink a little bit. I don't want to get rid of it completely, but I think if I add this to it, it might make a beautiful rosy brown. Yeah, so look at that. I feel like it's still a little bit rosy, but it's not quite as pink as over here. This shade A Little Quarky I've actually owned before, and it is stunning on its own. This and Ritz are two of my favorites. All right, so I'm just gonna take a brush quickly and blend the top edge so there's no harsh line. Okay, so next for mascara, I'm gonna use the L'Oreal Paradise Big Deal. I did try this in a recent video, but I wanted to use it again and just see how it is now that I've had it open for a week or so and it's started to dry out. I did have a really good experience with this formula last time. I didn't feel like it gave me the biggest, longest lashes ever. I still think I prefer the Maybelline Sky High to this formula. I like the brush on the Sky High better, but I loved that this formula didn't smudge or flake, and it wasn't super difficult to remove either. And I know the Sky High one is. So I wanted to try this one again because I only tried it once, and I really need to give things at least probably 4 or 5 tries before I can fully make up my mind about it. I think the one thing I don't love about this brush is that it doesn't like grab to your lashes. The Sky High from Maybelline, I feel like it really grips to your lashes and you can pull it all the way through. This one, the brush kind of feels flimsy, like it's just kind of combing through them too fast and it's not depositing enough product. So it gives that more wispy look. It's not giving a lot of volume, but it gives a lot of length. So in that way, it's kind of opposite to the original Lash Paradise, which I found gave a lot of volume, but not as much length. So here is what my lashes look like just with one eye done. So you can definitely see the length. It has a really fanned out, more fluttery look. Definitely no clumps, which I like, but it's also not super voluminous, so I guess it just depends on what you're going for. It also dries extremely fast, so I think that limits the amount of coats you can do. You have to just kind of go straight from one coat into the next and just get as many as you can before it dries down. By the way, I'm noticing too that the Almay lip balm stained my lips a little bit, the peachy one. So that's actually good to know. It seems like it's going to be more of a long-lasting formula. So anyway, let's move on to lips. I got some new lip glosses from L'Oreal, and these are called the Plump Ambition Hyaluron Lip Oil. So I ended up getting 4 shades. I didn't want to go crazy with these. Again, I got them on Amazon, but you know, I normally don't like the scent of L'Oreal's lip products, so please don't smell like flowers. Please don't smell like flowers. Oh my gosh, it doesn't smell like flowers. It's kind of like a vanilla mint scent, so that's better. I'm not a huge fan of minty scents, but it's not one of those like smack you in the face pepperminty kind of thing. It has a little bit of vanilla behind it, which is fine. I'm definitely okay with that. All right, so here's what the packaging looks like. I did pretty much stick to the neutral color families, but I wanted to get that pop of red too because I'm not sure if these are sheer, if they have a lot of color. I wanted to test that out. I love the packaging. I think it looks really elevated and a little more high end. And according to the website, it says that these are a volumizing lip oil that they give 24-hour hydration, a glass-like shine. They're infused with hyaluronic acid and tripeptides for smooth, plumper looking lips. It's supposed to be a lightweight, non-sticky formula. And it says that it has a cushiony pillow applicator with massaging beads for a soft, even application. So I'll just show you what this looks like. I mean, it just looks like your typical lip gloss wand. I don't see any beads, but it's covered in product, so I think it's kind of hard to tell. I guess I'll find out when I actually go to put it on. All right, so the colors that I have are Worth It at the top. Then the second one is Nude Macaron. Then the third one down is Latte Glaze, and then the red is Rouge in Love. So these seem to be pretty pigmented for a gloss. I don't think they're like a lipstick level of pigment, but they don't seem like they're super sheer either. But I'm definitely gonna do lip swatches, so we'll see what these look like on. We'll just start with the lighter colors and then work our way up. So let's see what this applicator feels like. I don't feel any massaging balls. It just feels like a cushiony applicator, so I don't know. They're really shiny, very thin. They feel more like a lip oil than a gloss. Definitely very minty. I'm actually starting to get a little bit of a tingle. Ooh, I wasn't expecting that. Yes, there is a tingle to these. They're definitely more of a plumping formula. So if you don't like that, definitely steer clear. It's starting to burn a little bit. So this is the shade Worth It. Next up, we have Nude Macaron. This one is a little bit more peachy. This one is Latte Glaze, which is more of a light nude. And then we have Rouge in Love, which is a really sheer red. I have to say, you guys, my lips are on fire. These are pretty intense. I don't mind a little bit of tingle, but these are a lot of tingle. I'm a little surprised because they didn't mention anything about that on the website. They just said it was like a hyaluronic acid plumping type of formula. So I think I'm just gonna put the nude Almay one back on. This one was just a lot more comfortable to wear. Yeah, even after taking these off, my lips are still burning. I wish I had known or that they had said something on the website about these being a tingling formula, because I wouldn't have bought 4 shades if I knew that it was like that. All right, so I'm just gonna go fix my hair and I'll be back with some final thoughts. All right, so I think we're a little bit hit or miss with the products right now. I love these Almay balms. I think these are really nice. They seem to, I mean, they're a little dewy on my cheeks, but they're not overly sticky. And they feel really nice on your lips too. I think they're a good balance of being a little dewy and balmy, but not over the top. So I can still wear them comfortably on my cheeks. And I love that they leave a little bit of stain behind on your lips. That's definitely a good thing. I also love the L'Oreal highlighter. I think this is so beautiful and really natural looking, super smooth. So I love that. Obviously, I love ColourPop Super Shock shadows. Those aren't really part of the review because they're not new. The L'Oreal mascara, I feel the same way about it as I did when I first tried it. I think it gives more length and volume. It's okay, not my favorite. I also think the Maybelline Lifter Stix Foundation so far looks okay. I think as I'm wearing it, it doesn't look quite as good as it did when I first applied it. I don't know if I love that. I'll zoom you guys in just so you can see what this looks like sitting on my skin. I think it's okay just for like some basic coverage, like a really quick look, but I don't think it makes me look flawless. And while it gives enough hydration and it doesn't look super dry, I also don't think that it's like plumping up my skin or making it look really good. It's just kind of meh. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead about the rest of my day. I will check back in with you tonight and see how everything's holding up. I'm hoping that the blushes leave a little bit of a stain behind like they did on my lips before. And I really hope the foundation still looks good after at least 8 hours. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Hey guys, it is 8:20 p.m. So I just wanted to do a final check-in and let you know how things are holding up. So eyeshadow looks really good. I never have any complaints about the Super Shocks. I don't have very oily eyelids. I would say they're, you know, more on the dry side like the rest of my skin. So on me, they never crease. They always look really good. I feel like the pigment is still there. They haven't faded. I am noticing a little bit of smudging from the mascara under this eye and a little bit over here, but I feel like it's more on this side. And it could be because all the products that I put on today were a little bit more dewy and emollient. So that could be why it's smudged, but this is why I typically go for tubing formulas, because something like the e.l.f. Lash Extender or any of the other tubing formulas are not gonna do that. They don't leave the black pigment under your eyes. So I think regular mascara formulas are just something that's gonna be hit or miss. Like this one, you know, sometimes it smudges, sometimes it doesn't, depending on many different factors. So I feel like it's just okay, but am I going to use this over all of the tubing mascaras I normally use? Probably not. I don't see myself reaching for this very often. Also, the Almay blush and lip product are almost completely gone. I can see it on my cheeks the tiniest bit. It was gone from my lips pretty much as soon as I ate a meal. So I know earlier in the video, once I wiped it off, it left a little bit of a stain behind. I did not experience that just during normal wear. So maybe I just didn't wipe it all off or something, and that's why it was still there, but it didn't last more than an hour. As soon as I ate lunch, it was gone. And then when it comes to the L'Oreal Plump Ambition glosses, I love the soft cushiony applicator that they have. I love the texture of these glosses. They're so smooth. They feel more like a lip oil. They're really thin, no stickiness whatsoever, but they are pretty intense when it comes to the plumping, and that's just not really my thing. So unfortunately, these are not for me, and really, I don't notice plumping glosses ever actually plumping anything. So if it was a matter of having to just deal with the burning sensation, but I would get plumper lips out of it, then maybe that would make sense. But since they don't really do much of anything anyway, and I can get the same effect with just a really shiny gloss that doesn't tingle, I would rather just do that and save myself from having to deal with my lips being on fire. So unless you actually enjoy that intense tingling feeling, I would skip these. And then when it comes to the Maybelline Lifter Foundation, I'm kind of torn about this one. It's okay. I don't know how much I really love it. I think I'm gonna have to just try it more and play with it. And you guys who watch me often know that my skin is really dry and I never usually look this oily, like especially on my forehead. I have this glow from the foundation, which is normally never there. I usually don't powder my skin because it just tends to look really matte naturally, but using this today, I actually feel like I could have benefited from a layer of powder. So I think the next time I try this, I'll probably do that and just powder it and see if I like that better. I'll go ahead and just show you some pictures that I took with my phone of my skin up close, because with all of these lights, I think it's really hard to tell what things look like. Plus my camera only zooms in so far. In my forehead area, I think the foundation sits nicely. It's not grabbing to the skin between my brows like sometimes foundations can if they're too dry. So I think in that area, it does look nice and smooth. There's just a little bit more glow than I'm used to. I don't feel like it's settling too much into my forehead wrinkles either. And then on my cheek area, I do see my pores a little bit more, but I think that's just because I applied that highlighter. And of course, any type of highlighter, even if it's a really smooth one, is going to exaggerate your pores slightly. So I don't think that's really the foundation necessarily. necessarily. I think it looks pretty good there, but you can see that the foundation has rubbed off of my nose. I did wipe my nose a little bit because it was kind of running before. I ate something spicy and I took a tissue and the foundation just kind of came right off. So it's not the most long wearing formula and definitely not transfer proof. So just keep that in mind. And then also on my chin, I feel like it kind of broke up a little bit. I can see some redness coming through. It doesn't look super smooth, but also my chin is just one of my trouble spots. I have this kind of bumpy orange peel texture to my skin down there. So foundations never really look smooth in that area, even if it's one of my favorite formulas. It's just, like I said, it's one of my trouble spots. So overall, this is not bad. I'm not completely like wowed and blown away, but like I said before, I have to just try this more and I have to maybe put it on top of different primers. I'm definitely going to try powdering it next time and see if maybe that helps the wear time a little bit and also takes down the shine a little bit. So we'll see. But I mean, overall, I feel a little disappointed in today's video. I didn't really try anything that I absolutely loved and was super excited about. My favorite thing initially was probably these Almay bombs, but I'm disappointed at the wear time. I just felt like maybe they were too emollient and they didn't stick around as long as I hoped they would. I do think that the L'Oreal highlighter is beautiful. It's a super high-end formula and it really held up. I can still see where I put it. So, I mean, that's probably the product that performed the best today out of the new products. And of course, the ColourPop Super Shock Shadows I love, but everything else was just kind of okay. So if you'd like to see some new drugstore products that just came out that are really, really good, I'm going to put my playlist of some of the new drugstore products that I've been trying over the last week or two. In case you missed those videos, there's some really amazing stuff out there right now. So anyway, guys, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. I truly appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll consider subscribing, and I'll see you all in my next video. Take care, guys. Bye.